Today on Joe's Geek Show, we've got a brand new haul of some trade paperback comics. What's going on, and welcome to Joe's Geek Show. And I know what you're thinking. It has been a while since I have made a video just about comic books. And you were absolutely right about that. So just a quick aside before we get into this haul itself. Life has been coming at me at a million miles an hour. So initially I took a little bit of time off of YouTube to finish school, get my college degree, which I did do, by the way. And then right after I finished, we moved from Japan all the way back to the United States. And now I'm back, I'm ready to talk some comics, and I think the best way to do that is with a new trade paperback haul, because it's also been a while since I've gotten my hands on a decent stack of trade paperback books. And we're starting off with Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King. Now, this was a book I initially passed on when it was first coming out in singles, because that's back when I was collecting singles. And I was just avoiding everything Tom King related because I did not like his Batman. I tried a few of his other books, and I just wasn't into his style of writing. But with the new Supergirl movie coming out here in a few weeks, and that story more or less being based off of this story right here, I figured, okay, let's give it a chance. I had some very close friends of mine say, give the story a shot. It's actually really good, really compelling, and is one of the best Supergirl stories ever told. And for that reason, it is at the top of my list to read. But of course, anyone who follows me knows that my favorite superhero of all time is The Flash. And I am quite behind on The Flash's stories. So because of that, I got the second volume of the Simon Spurrier run called The Flash Until Time Stands Still. And with the first volume, I was a little, I don't want to say I hated it, but I don't want to say I loved it either. I'm more interested in just seeing where Simon Spurrier takes the story before I form like a general opinion of the entire run. Because that has happened to me before when I read comics where I start off with one, I'm like, man, I don't really like this, but by the time it reaches its final conclusion, I'm like, oh, nope, now everything's laid out. Now everything makes sense. All right, cool. And since I didn't have volume 2, clearly I didn't have volume 3 either. And one thing I will say, I really like the cover of this particular Flash book. Like, it's a pinball machine. Pinball machines are fun. And also, like, the back of this book is really fun as well, with Wally just, you know, holding an earth in his hand. There's a dog also with like a planet and the moon in his mouth. I hope that's in the story in some fashion, because that just sounds really fun. And I'm pretty sure you know what's coming next, because I didn't have volume 2. I didn't have volume 3. I also didn't have volume 4 of The Flash. This one titled Bad Moon Rising, and is the final volume in the Simon Spurrier run. And man, that has to be one of the shortest Flash runs I think I have ever seen. But at least I get to read this run to completion, and I am very excited for that. I mean, and again, the back of this book looks pretty cool too. And with the end of the Simon Spurrier run, that of course goes into Absolute Flash, volume number 1. Because that's apparently the new thing at DC that I have kind of missed out on. Apparently there's like, everything's absolute now. Absolute Batman, absolute Superman, absolute Green Lantern, Absolute Flash, and I hope I will absolutely love it. But besides The Flash, you know what else I really enjoy? I enjoy a good crossover, particularly superheroes versus aliens and predators. And that is why I got Predator versus Spider-Man, because I already own, both in singles and trade, the DC versus Alien Predator timeline. Love those books absolutely to death. And so now the aliens and predators are taking on the Marvel universe, and I'm doing absolutely everything I can to make sure I get every single trade paperback of these. Actually, a few weeks ago I did also buy Avengers versus Aliens, so now all I really need is Black Panther versus Predator, and I believe Predator kills the Marvel universe. And since I enjoyed Predator versus Wolverine, I'm sure I'm going to enjoy Predator versus Spider-Man as well. I just hope Spider-Man, you know, cracks jokes at the Predator's features after like the face mask comes off, and just, you know, something. Some funny quips. Spider-Man's gotta have funny quips. And the last book I picked up is World Tree, volume number 3. Now, World Tree is one of those books I discovered more recently. It was about 2 months ago. there was this comic book store that came up from a neighboring city about 3 hours away. They come out about twice a year, I believe, because we don't have our own local comic book store where I'm at currently. So in order to get to one, we have to drive kind of like out. But anyway, they had World Tree volume number 1, and I saw the cover. I thought it looked cool. I bought it, took it home, and I could not put that book down. I think I went through the entire book like within the first day. It was just so captivating. It's a very interesting type of horror that you don't see too often, and it's got all these like cool little intricacies about the mystery and all the characters involved, and in a way almost like demon possession through like the internet, or well, in this case the undernet, which is like an evil version of the internet. But of course, I don't want to give too much away of the story. This is actually a book that I am making another video on right now for the first volume about just why you should read this book, especially if you're a big horror fan. I mean, I turned another buddy of mine onto this book after I read the first volume, and he's going back and just collecting all of the singles as well as the trades, because ultimately this story is shaping up to be one of my favorites of 2026 as a whole. So yeah, if you haven't read any World Tree, go at least pick up the first volume, or go see if you can find maybe the first issue if you're a singles collector. But that is it for my current trade paperback haul, and I want to know if you've read any of these books. How was, without spoilers, but if you read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, what did you think about it? Do you think it's going to make a good movie, or am I about to be shot in the foot again by getting a Tom King book? Or hey, how was Superior's run of Flash as a whole? How's the Absolute Flash going? I look forward to just getting caught up with everything. Please leave your comments in the comment section below.
And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with some friends, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and ring that notification bell for more comic book content. And if you're wondering what to watch next, consider one of these 2 videos. Alright, take care, have a great day, and as always, stay geeky.